Welcome back, everyone. I have a special guest with me tonight. I have Jeff P., the Nibiru Watcher. He has a great channel. He examines webcams that face the skies around the world. And he has caught some amazing things and has some amazing theories about what's going on. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
I am doing great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for joining us.
Good.
Yeah. What would you say that got you started looking at these cams?
Well, I was on going through YouTube, and I saw somebody who had picked up a camera of Planet X, and so I didn't discover it, but I did go back in the history, and I ran an animation on it of Planet X, the winged planet, just like we saw in Google Sky, where I saw it there. Where I said it was almost an exact match of what you saw on Google Earth or Google Sky.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Would you like to watch that animation?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, let me share the screen here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll share. Let me know when you can see the desktop.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so this was posted back in July 3rd. This event happened across about July 4th. So let's run this time lapse.
Yeah.
Can you hear? So here we see the celestial object cloud here, and another object here, and there it is.
Yeah. I see it, and it's got
Now,
wings.
Now, at the earlier part of the video, you saw the moon set between two large planets. So there it was, July 4th. And so
What year was that?
What's that?
What year was that?
It was, let's see if I can pause this thing. This was, you could actually still see it on the archives on Lake Starburn, addictedsports.com. You can see it up in here.
I got you, 2015.
Yeah, it showed up. If I could go back in the time a little bit. What amazes me, this shot right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
See the moon between this.
I see it. Wow.
Tell me, isn't that crazy? Ever since then, I've been eyeballing it. This object here.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't say it's a smudge. It's moving through the skies.
Exactly, right between the moon too.
Yeah.
So wow. I think after that was my first observance. So that's when I started studying about Zacharias Sitchin and Farada, and then what's his name? Bouchard came on the scene, trying to put this on a Bible timeline.
Right.
And so I started looking at the charts, and I got deep into it and started studying where it came from. And now, to the best of my belief, I think it actually came from the Orion Constellation. I could show you why I believe that, because of the well, one thing that got me to believe that is these shadows that I've been following on one of my videos actually appeared on the Pyramids of Egypt web camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was, the three shadows were lining up right here. This camera here is now offline ever since. We had a shadow here, and then this one here. I thought, I bet the third one will line up here. So I ran this time, and sure enough, a shadow showed up right here. Like this thing was lining up like a slot machine.
Wow, that's amazing.
No kidding. And it's been off ever since. Now I had that on my channel. I never backed it up. But some of my very first earlier followers remember that day that we saw the shadowy objects literally lining up on these.
Wow. That is amazing.
And I got a threat on my YouTube channel, so I just wiped out my channel, and I forgot to back up that file.
Oh, man.
So
yeah, it's tough dealing with the subject matter that we do. I mean, there's a lot of crazies out there. So you have any more recent catches that you'd like to share with us?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I Also, my very latest video was submitted to me an awesome photo of, I'm going to pull up. I got a folder here right here called cloaking devices. I've been explaining this so many times, I've got to kind of categorize these pictures. Check this one out. This was just submitted today.
Oh.
Do you see the camera glitch?
Yeah.
But every time he passes it in front of this lens, he gets this glitch.
Wow.
And in fact, it would sit there and vibrate forever if he held it in the right spot long enough, perfectly.
I think that's some kind of electromagnetic interference, or?
Well, that's what, yeah, pretty much. I have a theory for that. And what, I made a video about this. It was called the JPL. I found some documents on it. It was JPL and NASA were working with these ultra thin lenses. And since you asked, if I could pull this file up.
Yeah.
That these ultra thin lenses have been bending light using, it says bending light in exotic new ways. And it could actually use it as displays.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about those lenses.
And they're no ordinary lenses. They're ultra thin lens. These one, here's the article I made on it. And so in this video, I touched on Jet Propulsion Laboratory displays, sensors, and cameras. That it's this made of material that is made like this with these nanopillars. It's micro thin. These little red dots here are silicone crystals that bend and twist.
Wow.
Okay, so you have silicone crystals, and as they get shorter, like these little tree stumps, they become thicker. And thicker silicone creates a higher density, which will actually shape light differently, because that's what bends light. The thicker the density, the more light will bend, the sharper light will bend through it. You see how that works?
Yeah, and you have to think of the time and money that they're putting into this stuff up there. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, how long do you think they've had these devices deployed up there?
I believe they began construction on this in 1983, ever since the Strategic Defense Initiative was released. There's all kinds of documents saying that money was put into the hands of these people so to begin this massive project. So here's the article here. It's going to show you these nanopillars. You can see that they've changed the shape. They can actually be used for displays. That's the key thing. So there's Project Bluebeam for you.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. The shape light waves with light, and the reason why I think that it's magnetic is because light and everything in the electromagnetic spectrum has magnetic properties. So anything that has a magnetic field can bend that light. Or if you want to believe the photon theory, I don't subscribe to that, but that's a whole nother topic.
Right.
So,
wow.
Yeah, silicon nanopillars, made of structures, flat lenses help us robust imaging displays. That's the crazy part, displays, right? And they can resemble large cut forest by carefully varying the diameters. Well, in my video, I also suggest that they actually had another layer in here, which they put in a, let's see if I can pull this up. Well, here we saw the matrix breakdown. That's what in one video I had. You could see these videos on these time-lapse cameras. A lot of people were calling them, what do they call them? Planets.
So, yeah, a lot of people are confusing these giant lenses with planets. I myself have been confused many a times. I used to think that they were planets, but I actually watched a few of your videos and helped me understand a little bit what was going on.
Yeah, I showed you in my demonstration that how these lenses can actually, how they are used for cloaking device. So I put this in one of my videos. you can see a conventional lens, not like the lens we're seeing in space. When they put this in front, if you can pull the object out of focus, then the object disappears.
Right. Just like
because, right. The object is seen at the place of the focal point of the lens. That's where things are seen and heard. So bending light, all light that is bent onto our lens and our eyeballs actually bend the light into our retina so we can see the light. But they bend it before it hits our retinas, so we don't see it.
they have to have tons of these out there to cover the. I mean, do they know the rotational cycle? You think to where they can?
Yeah. Well, I don't think one question they have is they think they've covered it's not having covered the whole planet. I'm pretty sure of that. I think the way you can tell the presence of these is when you get that red lens petal effect on a nice sunny day. Yeah, we do get that with the fake sun, but let me show you a time lapse. I've been observing this for over 2 years. Here we go. Here's my discovery here. This is where I thought there were planets, and I literally prayed about it. God, what is this? I'm looking at what are these objects? And I sat there and scrolled this back and forth, and it finally goes, damn, those are lenses. It just came to me in a vision. You can see the bigger ones here.
Yeah, so they have different sizes.
Right. And you got the smaller ones here. They're overlapping, kind of like you would look like in the Olympic rings.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see this little piece of light here? And notice how it's cycling in a perfect timely cycle, up and down, which I believe to be that cubic device that's spinning in front of it.
To hide such an elaborate system up there. I mean,
yeah.
I wonder what areas are they focusing on?
Well, I suspect that they would be focusing on the Aquarius and the Virgo constellation. Because we look at the times of day this is setting, it's always where the sun is setting. I have yet to see, well, we did see some lens arrays high, but it definitely, you can see it's not part of the sun simulator. And another thing is the nature of light. If you look at the pattern and even the nature of light, when you split light, it has two halves. You have red and blue. And because the way the light's being split here, we're seeing the red half, and the blue is blending in with the sky.
I see.
So in here we can even, I mean, you could just make out how the bigger lenses are made. And I mean, I could just go endless videos. Like we could carefully show them all, but if you got more questions, you can see the compilation of videos that I have here.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I think I've seen your video with this.
And you see that I would love to have this on video. Another subscriber posted one just for me. And I appreciate people like that who had taken the time to show me these videos.
Definitely.
Here's another one that was submitted. You can see where the lens arrays are meeting at these where they're overlapping one another. They're getting this convergent. Again, we get to see the red and blue. Red and blue is where light's being split like a knife, and it just gets that color to it. That's what we call the lens aberrations. More evidence.
You had mentioned the sun simulator. Let's get into that a little bit. It obviously works in conjunction with these lenses.
Yes. Okay, so let me get to, well, I'll show you one element of the sun simulator is that spinning cube in front of it.
Yes. I've actually caught this on my camera.
You have. Now notice it's not always on, it's off. I do believe that the government has made a camera that has kind of simulates this to try and make it normal on the cheap cameras. Again, many of these cameras are done with cell phones. I've seen it posted. I didn't make a video about every single one. I wouldn't want to bore people with these black dots.
Yeah.
But I was thoroughly convinced when I first started seeing that on the web cameras. You notice you only pretty much see it on the sunrise and sunset, and then the I guess that. Let me get into the.
Well, you can tell the sun's not even the same color as it used to be. I mean, anybody over the age of like 30, 35 years old knows the sun used to be a nice orange-yellow color.
All right, well, here's the slam dunk for the sun simulator. So many people just refuse to believe this. But the light that's coming from our sun, however, it's millions of miles and thousands of times larger than our Earth, right?
Right.
That light should never, its rays coming out of Earth should be relatively straight, not from an angle. So we should never have like what I call this flashlight effect. The big sun, little sun.
It is like a LED flashlight up there.
You know what I'm saying? Never mind the color, that's more proof too, but the sun shouldn't do this with the clouds.
Yeah.
I remember as a little kid, it was always, when the sun went behind a cloud, it stayed small.
Right.
And now we see on the webcams, it freaking takes up the whole sky sometimes. That right there, you shouldn't have to argue anymore just because of that.
Yeah.
Now, was the international? Oh, let me pull up the International Space Station ones. I thought I had it on this one. Here's pictures that. Here's what looks. Here's some picture from the ground. You can start to see that it's going to look like stuff we see from space, from the space station, right?
So these are these satellites?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I got a drawing. I think kind of a drawing. It kind of shows what. If I could dig that up. Oh, check this out. Here you go. Here's another slam dunk, right? Now, where's the light coming from? From the International Space Station, right? You can see it on the left side of the Earth.
Yeah. You can see
Keep your eye right here. Now, I used to watch the International Space Station. Look at this thing just turns on and then turns off. It didn't even set. Oh, come on, right?
Nah.
I mean, you can't say that's being reflected. There's just no way.
Oh, and it's not completely not natural.
Not only it's a perfect circle, right? So it's not like a reflection of the sun. And I mean, I heard so many people try and debunk this thing. And keep notice that this is the back side of the sun simulator. I'm going to show you the front side. Now, I used to watch this. See this object. Normally the sun simulator would rise and look like this, but it'd be what it appeared to be on the horizon of the Earth. Okay. I mean, you'd watch this normally. That's how you would watch the sun rise and set.
Yeah, and I've heard theories that is there different types of simulators? Is there some that reflect the sunlight and some that have their own light?
I believe that they're generated by they generate light.
They're generating light, you believe?
But they get their light power from our sun.
Okay.
And here we can see this thing turning off and on again. We can almost see the focal length changing because we could watch this thing turn on again here. Look at that. See?
Yeah.
Right? Tell me, this sounds like laser-fed technology.
Wow.
So I have another theory how this is really being fed, but I got to pull up the document on it. I kind of had a drawing how this whole thing's really working. And try and answer your next question. In the video, I had I guess I could just pull up the YouTube video.
Yeah.
And that would probably be the easiest way to do it. Showing that there was a Flickering Sun video that I made. It was over in Nigeria, and it's flickering everywhere. And I noticed the way that it was flicking. What, you remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
Did you watch the video I made?
Yes, I think I did.
Okay, so in the Flickering Sun, if I could find it in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can even show you where the sun actually, the moon, excuse me, rises through what I believe to be a planetary projection. Actually, you want to see that one?
Yeah, go for that.
Okay, I just got to pull stuff up as we see it. Okay, in this video, this is an airport in Australia. Okay, in this video, you can see in this daytime picture of kind of the brown spot here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then at nighttime, this thing has like this nighttime. Notice we see a white. It looks like a white orb, like a 3D planet. Now this here is the rising moon.
Yeah.
This is where it gets crazy, right? So the moon rises. No, excuse me, the setting moon.
Uh-huh.
And we can watch, in this instance, we actually watch a full moon disappear. It was a full moon. Did you see that?
Wow, it just went to a
I went to like,
and then gone.
yeah. Now, 4 days earlier, on the 10th, I'm going to go back in time, and this object went right through the center of this object, okay? So, let me fast forward this video. Check
And
this out.
it appears to be stationary.
Yeah. And I have a reason for that, too. If I got to pull up my... Watch this. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see the sun split, the moon, excuse me, split into 3 separate pieces as it passes through 3 overlapping lenses. I got to get right to that spot where it hit in the lens. I can't believe this didn't go viral. This is just crazy.
Oh,
right?
wow.
There. See
Yeah.
that?
I saw it. It split into 3 little pieces. How does that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Again, my lens theory just gets stronger and stronger as I keep showing these, as I keep digging into this information.
Yeah, oh, wow. That's amazing.
Okay, so here's my flickering sun. Oh, okay. In the early part of this video, the day that the flickering sun happened, the International Space Station copied the exact same day. They just mirrored an older video and overlapped it. So what you were watching was an old video, not a current video. How funny is that?
Wow.
I put that at the intro of this thing. You're going to see in its exact match, the date time stats match. Okay?
Yeah.
So a flickering sun would have been pretty spectacular to see from space, wouldn't it?
Well, definitely, yeah.
So we see the flickering sun here. And people say it's, they could say we're the debunkers, man. It's the camera. But you know what? You can look this stuff on YouTube. You'll see endless flickering sun videos.
Well, they are all looking up. You can see them.
Yeah, looking up. And yeah, it just happens to land on Fatima or some holy day, and they said they're just worshiping God, whatever. Just more troll action there. Okay, so in the flickering sun video, let's see. Then I go back and show the NASA what they were doing. Here's what a rising sun looked like with this. You see how you see this same thing that we saw from the International Space Station on my earlier video?
Yeah.
But now it's not at the horizon. Instead, we see it like what it looks. And look, we see these lenses, and I believe they can actually change the focal length. It matched up what we saw in these previous videos. Sometimes I use the same old videos. MB3 caught the flickering sun here, and they saw it on the license plate. Let me just play that one. In that video, you could see the lights. You could see the glass flickering on the license plate on the glass also. So I'm going to skip ahead, but yeah.
It's just amazing that more people they don't notice that there's something wrong with the sun.
Yeah, it just flickers. And you know, a lot of people say that we have, you know, that would just be impossible, whatever type of sun. I don't believe we have a thermal nuclear sun. I do believe it's an electric universe. It's being fed Berkeley currents from another galaxy. That's another topic, but either type of sun should never flicker.
No,
And then
definitely not.
right? Oh, I think, you know what? My bad. I thought this video was going to show the diagram of why it was flickering. I think but here's an interesting one too, though, because in this video I showed, watch this. I want you to look on the screen here. Watch this object travel right here. It's going to travel all across the screen. There, see it?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, I saw that again in another video, but I kind of stopped making videos about these.
That was fast.
Yeah.
That was a fast moving little shadow.
The light flashes too, which I think is part of the sun coming from the sun simulator.
Very interesting.
We watch that dot. You know what? Anybody get a time-lapse camera? Actually, you might even miss it on a time-lapse. You want to stream this stuff. Time-lapse, your frames are too short. It would have passed halfway across the sky between your camera shots. There it goes. See it?
Yeah.
See it kind of dance around? More of the electric universe, right? There goes your gravity theories.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would have to agree with that.
Nice. The trees burning from the inside out.
Now, what's that?
Oh, you didn't remember seeing this?
Oh, yeah. The trees when they from the California fires.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I had so yeah, there's the flickering sun through the chemtrails. You can see it changing diameter. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, in this demonstration, I show you how the diameter of the sun is changing. And the sun halo, here you go. This is more of the, in this demonstration, I could show you more video clips. But when you watch these halos, you notice the inner diameter changes radically. Well, the outer diameter of the sun halo, which is part of the lens system, does not change the diameter of light. Now, if this was our sun, we should never have a sun that practically shrinks to nothing. I'm going to pull up time-lapse halos. Let's see. Check this one out. Okay. Here we go with the sun halo. And I want to show you with the low altitude chemtrail clouds. Watch how big and small the center of the sun will get, which would be absolutely impossible if it was real.
Yes, I know.
Right?
I've filmed this phenomenon myself, and this is one of the first things that really got me questioning things when I was filming the sun one day.
Yeah, and then you notice at this point in the sun, I'm going to call it an eclipse. Okay? Notice the imbalanced light right here. Notice you got more. At this point of this eclipse, you've got a sun simulator. You've got a lens. You've got a sun simulator. You've got a planet, and then you got the real sun behind it, all wrapped up in this thing. And then you'll notice that again, what I want to point out, notice the light coming around the edge here, right?
Yeah.
Notice how it's diminished over here, like there is no light leaking from this side.
Yeah.
So there goes your halo. And back to the ice crystal theory, right?
They love the ice crystal theory.
Has anybody actually shined a white light through an ice crystal? Wouldn't you get all the colors of the rainbow?
Well,
where's green and purple and blue, right?
Yes, it should represent all the colors.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a prism up there. It should be breaking up the colors. So where's the full spectrum? So that right there proves the chemtrails. The diameter proves it's a fake sun, the real sun on the outside. But this diameter here never changed because our real sun never changed. Because it's so big and so far away, its light rays are approaching the Earth relatively straight, while the light from like the flashlight sun is approaching it like a cone. That's why we have the big sun, little sun. Right? Low altitude, big sun, high altitude, small sun.
Yeah. Again, the amount of time and money spent on this must be so exponential.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
You can't. Here we get to see the sun simulator. I was going to pull up the patent in a minute.
Yeah.
Notice how the light's even coming up at an angle here, right? And then this demonstration, I showed that the sun, notice the dot that we're looking at is on the water, is reflecting on the water as well, right? Not an overheated camera lens.
Yeah, you can see the definite reflection.
And from the same camera at different days, we don't get the black dots. So how come that doesn't happen then, right? Well, the reason is not everybody gets to see the black dot. But because in the sun simulator, let's see if I can pull up the patent on it. I have it in one of my old videos. In the sun simulator, you've got this channel of light that comes back from a refracted mirror. That's that black dot. That's that mirror that we're seeing spinning. But you got to be looking right down the barrel of this aperture to get the black light, where the light is being diffracted from. Trying to, let's NASA, fake sun, chemtrails. I might have it on this one. Unless you have the sun patent, you could pull it up on yours.
I don't think I have it handy.
Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I think this is part one of the patents. There's a little more to it. Let me pause this. Okay, so the way this pretty much works is we've got...
That is the patent from the 1960s, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I've seen these before.
Yeah.
The patents were from the 60s. Well, go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so we're looking down on this thing here, and this is the light source here. See where there's number 16? These are all these little white dots are the arc lamps. They reflect back onto this disc here. This is mirrored. These little arrows show the path of light. And so all this light bounces onto these mirrors and puts it onto this convex cave mirror here. Then all the light that bounced from these bounce onto this mirror, projected through this tunnel here. But this one here is a little confusing because there should have been another mirror out here that reflects back. And
yeah, I'm sure they're not going to show us the exact.
Yeah, they're not going to be that
diagrams.
Ultra thin. Oh, that wasn't the best one. I was trying to find even a better pattern where it showed explain that black dot better.
Yeah, I believe I remember what you're talking about.
I hope we get. Yeah, I wish I had. I might have had that patent in one of my file folders somewhere. I apologize.
Oh no, that's all right.
Okay.
No, if you can't find that, I was going to ask if you could show us some of the actual planetary bodies that you might have caught on some of these cameras.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me see. So we can start with we can go to this website now. Let's do this live, right? You can't call this Photoshop.
Right.
And where I'm catching these objects right now are this camera here and this camera here. These are both in northern Italy facing the west.
Okay.
And here we're seeing the light bending lenses and everything. So I just go back a couple hours and see if we find anything today. or if I could, oh wow, that's a first. That is the first time I noticed that. Man, things just getting crazier every time I look at this camera. So here we have this, I believe to be a lens even right here. But let's just keep going backwards in time and see when our little visitor shows up, which I don't think is even Planet X. I think it's one
So
of
some
the
of
other.
these that people are calling lens flares, it's projections of the actual lenses.
Right. You know what? I was trying to get. I had an art drawing whipped up. I just can't find my artwork. Oh well. Not too prepared, I guess.
No, you're
well.
good.
All right, so the best pictures I have are on my videos. If I could, want me to go back and visit my videos, if you want.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like you to show us some of the, you know, I know you got some great catches of some actual, it would appear to be some planetary bodies.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
you would say there's definitely more than one.
Yeah. Now check this out. I've been at this for years, and I actually saw this in the sky, and there it is, outside my house.
I've actually caught those myself.
You actually saw that.
Yes. I have a few pictures myself.
Felt it. I felt it. It was creepy,
Wow.
man. I felt this pressing nature about it, and it stood there. This was at twilight. That cloud did not move while the rest of these clouds just drifted. Now, it just stood there. Now, this was probably like 20 to 30-mile-an-hour winds at least. These clouds, this should have moved on. Notice the shape will not change.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to get dark. And then I pulled out my phone and took another picture of it. So we can get, so here it is. The sun is now setting. It's still sitting there holding its same shape. I zoom in on it.
There it is.
Look at that. Still there.
Same.
There was. Absolutely.
It appears a little misshapen. That's probably because it's covered in a cloud of gas, you would say.
Yeah, but you could still see those, like, it looked like it had 4 spider legs on it, and they were bent.
Yes, the spider legs. I've seen those in your videos.
And so
the trolls like to argue that those are spiders.
Yeah, they do. Shame on them. Well, you know what? Some of them were spiders, but not on my videos. They were actually I was careful not to record spiders.
Well, you can tell. I mean, it's in the sky. It's not on the camera.
Right. And I believe in some of these videos actually planted a spider. They really have. And I just would like not even bother with the camera. I'll wait till the spider's gone or dead, or at least I catch it on 2 different cameras because they got tired of the spider comments. So in this video here, I thought was pretty stunning from one of my Steven Seven Spalding channel. We saw this red orb, and he tracks it for like a half an hour. And this is 20 minutes after sunset, and we have this red glow in the sky. Now, I normally don't make videos like this where it's just kind of clouds and indistinguishable. But having a red spot in the dark sky, that stuck out for me. What do you think?
It is definitely interesting. I mean, I've seen some red spots myself in the sky that have been very questionable, but yeah, it's very bright.
Yeah, look at that.
And
that
it's not light pollution from the horizon either. It's above.
Right. And then look what we saw on Facebook. This guy freaking out. Wish I could play the audio on this one.
Oh, I did see this one too. That one was amazing.
Yeah, that was like just a couple of weeks ago. And there's the sun. You can tell it's twilight. Yeah. We could show the actual Facebook post, actually. It would have been better. Sometimes I got to go to the real source. Just I don't have a Facebook account. Let's see. Oh, here we go. It'll play for us. Well, we saw it anyways.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a live stream, man. You have network issues, right?
Always.
Try and be as prepared as you can. You don't know what the next question's going to be. I was trying to pull up some sun simulator drawings for you. Maybe we can Google one real quick. Google patents. Maybe this might be it. I mean, it's all over the internet by now.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
get the same one that I tried to show you. That's not the one that. The one I show you shows an arm out. It looks like the James Webb Telescope. We pull that up for you. Solar systems. This one. This guy here.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I actually had a video of this thing unfolding in space. This is NASA is calling this. Well, it's the James Webb Telescope. It's got gold-plated hexagon lenses on it. It's got more that fold out. This whole thing folds out. They actually had a video of this thing on launching. Here's what I believe to. Check this one out. This is from a YouTube channel called Star, and she submitted. This is what she's getting on her house.
Huh.
In fact, isn't that crazy?
It's a spider.
Yeah, you're getting these weird square-like pictures, like a collapse, and they're like, look, rotating all across the sky from different users too. One was, here's another one, getting them on their fence. Look at that thing rotate. Maybe I'm going too fast. I apologize.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Trying to see. I was proposing that might be part of the sun simulator, but it could just be a rocket engine. Oh, this is just some theories I was throwing around.
Right.
Dang, I really need to pull up that NASA sun patent. Is what I definitely left a link to it in one of my first sun simulator videos. I just have to go through and find them.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay. Anything you wanted to show?
Well, I just wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of Secchi images.
Okay.
I'll pull those up after you find what you're looking for.
Okay. Let's see. Go back. This might be it. It's the same one. See, it's the Google one that doesn't give me the complete diagram. However, I did discover that in front of the sun simulator, there are these lenses. It doesn't come in very good on this one. All right. Go ahead and pull up your Secchi images.
Yeah. Let me get my screen up.
Okay. I'll see if I can find the that document. Oh, I was like show you a document of the to, I believe, a leaked document that was released into the public eye about Planet X, where it is, where it's going, the size, diameter, speed, and everything else.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. There's a lot of theories on what this is. I just want to get what you thought about this. Is this a brown dwarf? Is this, I mean, what do you think this is?
Wow. It is a planetary object. Look at that. I kind of go in line with Claudia Alberts for the physicist, but I don't subscribe to even the particle theory. But those look like vortex. What do they call that? Like a vortex wave of energy sucking off energy from the sun. Like
yeah, I believe this was actually a solar flare that brought this out when it occurred.
Huh.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I've seen that people like saying like they're like bubbles, but I've seen plasma does not ever take the form of a bubble.
Right.
So I can't help wonder if they get like attracted to it and then they eject out when they balance each other out. And I know that, you know, with the brown dwarf and our sun are like two opposites of the yin and yang. One is magnetically charged, one's electrically charged. And they seek each other, they're seeking balance. The dwarf gets brighter, our sun gets dimmer. And that looks like some type of star.
Now this is Earth. Look at the size of this. And these have been caught, you know, very randomly on the satellite images. Have you seen these before?
Not like that one. It doesn't even look familiar, actually.
That's enormous.
This isn't the you see, is this a Secchi image?
No, this is the Soho, I believe.
Oh, the Soho.
Yes.
And that little blue dot's the
Earth.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Wow. That's completely crazy.
Here's another one. There's a different time. This one was in 2016. The previous one was, I believe, in 2017. But you get these random, just something huge showing up right there.
Wow.
And I still don't know what that could be.
You know.
Let me get this one. There's definitely something there.
Yeah, it's something because you said it's something there. And I don't think it's a spaceship. Although I don't doubt that UFOs could have the technology to siphon off energy. But I don't think they'd be perfectly spherical either.
Yeah, that's what I had. I just wanted to get your thoughts on...
Yeah, I think that's planetary. And been looking at the pattern of these objects. They seem like they're hanging around. They're not even leaving. Like it's not even out of orbit.
This has been years. And I also want to get your thoughts on, you know, there's a lot going on, a lot of Earth changes, climate chaos, a lot of volcanoes going off. I mean, do you think we're in for a pole shift?
Absolutely. I think I really do. We look at Africa splitting apart. We see the tides. We're not even in the. Oh boy, you've been following the Dave Dobb channel.
I've seen a few of his videos. I haven't recently though.
I've been tracking with him for a long time, and I've been counting the clocks with him. We stay in touch a lot, and I track his dates. I got a little app on my iPhone. I can actually count dates. And his last prediction that he's matching up with world events like Fukushima and massive earthquakes.
Yeah.
And that object he keeps showing. Now he does great work. But in the earlier parts of his video, he shows one object and it's red. And it looks pretty hot. And then Becky Lewis produced some videos. And now they're looking like they start off red and then they turn black and then they look a little white even. Orangish color. Now that to me shows the presence of an atmosphere. So that thing is skimming through our atmosphere and then it leaves. And in Dave Dobb's own words, he's watching this thing skims our atmosphere, and then leaves. Well, he thinks it's outside our atmosphere. I believe it's inside. And I've seen the wings of Planet X, and they're farther spread apart. And there's no way that we're going to have a planet 7 times the size of our Earth skim our atmosphere and look at it. It just isn't going to look like that.
Yeah.
So I believe this to be an object that is orbiting around Planet X. And what he's counting is the object orbiting around it, which he's saying it's a 200-day orbit. And we see it twice in every 100 days. And the last time, the date he had set was March 1st on the time clock. And it's coming up like time. Well, guess what March 1st is 100 days out from now, from March 1st?
What's that?
It comes to about June 10th. Now, something interesting happens at June 10th. That's when our Earth is going to start going through Neptune, or getting close to Neptune in the Aquarius, which Neptune just happens to be in the Aquarius constellation, a very rare event. And it was a video I was going to make on this. Maybe I could show you live if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, kind of show where we're at.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to share the screen.
Yeah, you go ahead and take it.
Okay. Oh, I guess you're going to have to stop first.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me stop share here. All right.
Okay, so share the desktop. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, solar system scope, which I found something interesting, a new discovery from solar system scope, and you're going to be the first to hear it because I didn't even make a video about it.
Awesome. Let's see what you got.
Well, if you go back to the year 8960, Neptune disappears. And where constellation is when it disappears? The constellation Aquarius. Go figure, huh?
Interesting.
So, but before we get into that, here we are at now, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is where I think this whole thing is coming at us. We've got a nemesis star that's traveling relatively slow. Coming up, we're looking down on our solar system here, right?
Yeah.
And here is the Orion Constellation. This is where it came from. This is where we saw it on Google Earth. And then it swung up through the left side of our planet between Venus. Well, the planet X actually passed somewhere between Venus and Mars. And then to the right side of our atmosphere, we have the Virgo constellation. This is where we saw the dragon in the edited pictures. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Right. And then if we look, as this system came up, you see my cursor, it came up at us at almost a 23-degree angle this way. And as it was passing past Virgo, that we saw the deleted images from that, and we looked down, and we saw the dragon heading towards Draco. Right?
Right.
And it went up 3.5 years up into this lower orbit up here and swung back down past the halfway point. I believe it came through in 2011. It broke this Earth's ecliptic plane here, or our solar system plane. And now it's on its way back through on the opposite side of Aquarius. Excuse me. Aquarius is the opposite side of Virgo. So here's Virgo. On the opposite side is Virgo. Now it just so happens. So here we are now. And if we go forward in time and we go up 100 days from the Dave's job model, we begin to enter into the constellation Aquarius. Now, Higher True Channel and a lot of these channels are saying that every time that our Earth passes through this, we get that reverse magnetic field thing that we keep seeing on the WSO channel and Higher True Channel and the Higher Helium and all that, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Waves, that as this thing passes through, we also get this inverse line between Neptune, Earth, and Mars. And I also come to discover that if we go back every 3,600 years, you know what that number represents, right?
Well, that's what I was about to ask you, if you subscribe to that length of time or the 20,000 year or whatever else the theories are.
Well, I think that, well, the Gil Bashard, you ever seen his timeline, right?
Yeah, 400 years, I believe, right?
Well, it's a rough hour because it slams into other planets, comes back, it takes time to accelerate, and, it seems to make sense, actually. Can
Right.
both be true. Now, you heard about the Nibiru disk, right?
Yes.
Okay, that definitely points to an exact time and an exact tilt. So Gil Bashard has some truth there, and I don't subscribe to all his theories or his beliefs. I'm going to still hold strong to my Christian belief. Include even the Bible even talks about the Orion Belt being loosened in Pleiades. So if here's a theory I think that might join some of Gil Bashard's theories with the 3,600-year orbit.
Mm.
That perhaps it did come every 360 years and 400 years, but the Earth wasn't passing in front of it at the time it left or the time it came in. It was the timing of the cycles. It wouldn't have affected our Earth as much.
Right, that would make sense.
So now I want to show you something about planet Ceres and some of the evidence as to why I think it came from this direction. Solar system evidence. You had to see it to believe it. Now, according to a lot, that Pluto was an moon of Neptune. So here's Pluto, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you something. I want to prove that the Pluto's apogee to the sun is at its furthest at the Orion Constellation. See that?
Yeah.
You can do this yourself. You can just see it. That there's Pluto, and here it is getting closer to the sun and farther from the sun. But here's about the furthest. And a lot of these planets, not to mention that the whole planet Earth, you know what this time of the year is, right? This time of the day. It's December. That's the solstice. That's when the Earth is tipped, right?
Right.
So here we get the tip of the Earth at right when it's at the Orion constellation. Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting.
Egypt knew about it as well. I want to show you something else. The planet Ceres. See this ancient planet we say was destroyed by Planet X? And what remains of it is the asteroid belt?
Yeah.
Look at this. It has an interesting orbit too. It goes above and below the ecliptic plane of the sun. Right? I'm going to drag it around, see it going low.
Yeah.
Guess what the low side is? In Virgo.
Ah.
And guess where the high side is?
It's going to be Orion.
Well, it came up through here, and then it swung up and swung back. You got to think of this thing three-dimensionally. So notice at its highest plane, let me get it right up here, and look where it's at. Right about where Virgo is.
Ah.
See? And you look at the way that the orbits of these planets were stretched out also, the ancient. So we have planet Ceres. We've got a lot of these planets. We got the tip of the Earth. We've got the pyramids of Egypt. All seem to point toward the Orion Belt. So I think that when this thing came through at different times, but look at this. If we go and look at, here I was going to show you, remember I showed you that in the year 8960, Neptune disappears.
Yeah.
So we're still in AD, but we're going to go into BC. It takes a couple of seconds. No one's ever seen this before, so you're a first. This is exclusive, right?
Awesome.
You're going to watch Neptune disappear in the year 8960. I'll take it right up to it. Now, these little lines that you see the orbital paths, that's tracking with it, right? You're going to actually watch that birth at 8960. And the reason why I was looking at these cycles, well, 1582 would have been 3,600 years ago, right? If you do some quick math. So if I go to 15, but I've already went past that. But I'm going to skip right to the fun stuff, okay? We're going to watch Jupiter or Neptune disappear. And when does it get born? In the orbit. Well, the interesting thing is the whole water symbolism with these two planets and constellations, right? Now, I think of this biblically because Jesus even said, in the days of Noah, so will be in the days of man. And here we have these massive water symbol, the water god planet and the water constellation.
Very interesting.
Oh, I still got a few thousand years to go.
Wow, that.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And you know, another interesting date that we're coming up on is May 2nd. You know what May 2nd is?
What's that?
May 2nd just happens to be this in the Hebrew year, the 17th day of the second month. That's in the Bible, by the way, in Genesis. Okay, so here we are in the year 8960. Let's see if I can make this planet disappear. You see the track is now disappearing? Oh,
yeah.
There we go. Let me move this around a little bit.
Yeah.
Notice it doesn't have an orbital path anymore, right? Going,
Wow.
going, gone. It won't drag anymore, right? Now watch. At what time? We got 8960 at, what time would that be? 10:50 a.m. or something?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to grab like another planet and keep rotating it. It disappeared. There you go. Cool, huh?
Why do you think that is?
Apparently, they didn't think those were tracking. Now I got my curiosity going. So if I keep winding the clock back, I wonder when Earth is going to disappear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, who knows, man? There might be a conspiracy behind that, but you know, that's for another discussion, right?
Yeah, that is very interesting.
So I did find something interesting, but the 3,600 year cycle.
Yeah.
Always for the next 33, I believe 2 or 3 3,600 year cycles, Neptune always ends up in the constellation of Aquarius.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So I got to go back to 1582, and we're going to see. Oh, and if I go back 7 years from 1582, that does put Ceres. Oh, it does put Neptune awfully close to Pluto, implying that it was orbiting Pluto and got pulled out. Now it's at its own, doing its own thing. And
So
funny, go ahead.
How much longer would you say till we're going to hit its closest point?
I think somewhere in I think it's going to be several planets that are passing through, but I think its closest point, I mean, nobody really knows, but I think the Dave Dobson model's got to be within at least 30 days accuracy. And I can't disclose where I heard it from, but I think I heard, you want to asking dates, man.
Yeah, no, I know about dates. I'm just, do we have 5 years left?
No, you know what? I think this is the year for a few religious reasons, for one, and from what I'm watching with another. The reason is because of everything that's going on right now. We've got World War III. We got all the distractions going on. So here's the year that Planet X happened 3,600 years ago. Whoops, dang it. Hold on. 1852. And, well, I guess we're going to get on topic of dates for a different reason. Let's see. Oh. Did you know that we have the temperature of the sun is 5,778 degrees?
Right.
Kelvin degrees. Right?
Okay.
And did you know we're in the Hebrew year 5778?
I did not know that.
Yeah. And guess when that ends? The Hebrew ends at at the fall solstice. So here we got Neptune at 1583 near the Aquarius constellation, just where we're at now. Look at that, almost the exact same position. Doesn't that almost like a mirror image what we looked at?
It does, yeah.
We had Neptune here. We have Jupiter in this area. And look at where Pluto's at right now. Pluto's in the neighborhood too. He's not too far away. We had to jump up, and who knows how far away its orbit might have been. Right here. So we have all these objects tracking with it during this time. So I think that I'm just guessing from like a religious point at this point, and kind of what I'm saying and what I'm seeing with the Dave's Dobb model as well. And for information I can't disclose, at the speed that this thing was spotted, 120 million miles out, traveling 45,000 miles an hour. And just from that information alone, outside of the Dave's Dobb model, puts us back into June.
Wow.
And then I was watching So Evolution. He actually caught the dragon. If you watch his latest work, again, in the Aquarius constellation. So again, it's not just one rogue planet. We've got a fast-moving planet around a slow-moving sun. Its orbit is incredibly, what do they call that? Eccentric, elongated.
You think it's one planet rotating the binary star?
No, we've got at least 3 of them. We've got 2 planets orbiting each other as they orbit around Nemesis, with each of them having 3 or 4 moons, and then Planet X orbiting around that whole system as well in a higher eccentric, much faster orbit. With I've personally seen 4 moons, but I've heard 7 moons.
Yeah, I've heard 7 as well.
And let me show you a document, if you want to take over the screen till I pull up this document.
Yeah.
You got something to show, but I would like to show you a document that had here it is, I got it. Never mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
You saw the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Now I did some of the math. This document looks pretty legit. Its source. You can watching the videos. It did a lot. Not just read the document, but research the links as well. That we had. Notice June 11th. Remember that date that I said this thing was to break its ecliptic plane.
Yeah.
NASA's shutting down. Here's the diameter of Planet X, Nibiru dark star twin pang. It had, because of its mass and its magnetic field and its density, composed of purely iron oxide composition of possibly cesium, which means radioactive. So there goes the wormwood, radioactive, bitter waters, and all that stuff that we see, right?
Yeah.
Look at the rotational speed, 36,000 miles an hour.
Jeez.
And that would set off its intermagnetic field. Look at this. Let's see. Core magnetic field. I got another one. Here was spotted in the Leo constellation. They see it perturbing the tilt of Saturn. So everything about this document seems very legit. The way that they measure it, where it's spotted in the sky. I can give you a copy of it.
Where is this document from?
Let's see. It came from, I think David Reed had a special guest that went on a long discussion about it.
Okay.
And it was from an astrologist, actually. And from what he saw, from his actual observations, and he was giving, they could find the old video on this. It was a live interview for like 2 hours. Now look at this. Its magnetic radius is 8 AU. That's over 755 million miles.
That's enormous.
So its magnetic field is coming at us in waves.
Yeah.
Now here's kind of talking about its spin and its gravity is so dense that only gamma rays can escape its through its core, which is giving its the wings.
Right.
But see, I don't believe in the gamma ray thing. It's just a higher vibrational energy that's leaving out and orbiting in a giant torus field. You familiar with torus fields?
Not particularly, no.
Torus field. Once we Google a torus field, torus field looks like two donuts, pretty much. Let's try and find a typical torus field here. Here we go, like this. This is a type of torus field like this.
Okay.
This is, I believe, the shape of atoms that we see too. Sound waves. Everything is traveling in giant torus waves. So all this energy is traveling, jetting out from the outside and coming back in through the ecliptic plane and moves in a constant cycle like this. This is the Earth, gravity, magnetic waves, atoms, all energy is this giant torus fields. In fact, the ring stones that we find in the ancient world are giant sound amplifiers. Sound creates magnetic fields. Moving magnetic fields creates electricity. That's the real model of the electric universe. In fact, this is what we see in the atomic model, and they want to call, if we look down on these rings, that's what they're calling the orbital paths of electrons, when they're really just boundary zones of the wave fields, the pressure waves. So, kind of go back to, where are we at here? So there was the torus field. So now going back to this. So imagine a massive spinning torus field coming through a universe, jetting out its plasma, which does make most of its energy back to its equator and cycles itself back through. So here we can see the perturbed planets that it talks about. Some of the stuff is kind of over my head. But I did want to show you the magnetic field representation. Here we talk about on June, the Saturn was tilted at a given time. This is what gave birth to the search for Planet X, that it was tilted away from on these different Voyager satellite systems. You know, I think so many of these long distance range was to see where this thing was coming at us.
Yeah.
Here we see Saturn, June. It changed its arc like 18.2 arc seconds. Wow. So we see that, hey, that ain't right, right?
No. Yeah, I've seen the perturbances, and recently even more so that it's been perturbing some of the planets like Jupiter and Venus as well.
Right. Oh, you remember Comet Elenin?
Yes.
Or no, Ison.
Oh, yeah, Ison, yeah. I remember Elenin and Ison.
Okay. Comet, in this video, he was saying that Comet Ison was actually trapped in orbiting the outermost orbit of Planet X. And if you do the math, it adds up perfect. Because guess what? According to this document, this goes back to the year 2018 again, because if a Comet Ison was in the outer orbit of an 8 AU orbit out, which put it 4 years, and here we are in 2018.
Well,
so here,
go ahead. No, yeah, go ahead, finish.
So this magnetic field is looking what they're saying looks like the gravity wave pressure walls that coming at us like a hurricane. These are those, I think, those waves of energy we kept hearing about as it spiraled out and slammed into Earth. So this is what these wave fields would be hitting our Earth like, wave after wave in a cyclic fashion when it passes through. Just like it did the Pioneer 10, it pushed it aside in the opposite direction of our orbit. That's how they can tell what spin it had. Comet Elenin. And so in this, they say that it was orbiting it as well in 2010.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could send me the links to that, I can leave it in the description.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful document. I know that science will say that, cesium doesn't exist. Oh, of course it exists. Well, we're talking about theoretical stuff anyways, right?
Right.
Has anybody actually seen electron? How many scientists actually physically handle or even seen cesium? they've only read about it in some Illuminati-controlled textbook.
I mean, that could be said about all the mainstream science and that we're taught about the universe. You know,
Right.
there's no way to tell what's truth and what's fiction.
You know what? I've been going down the rabbit hole for a long time, and I know that we not only it's an electric universe, but we don't even have particles. And I would strongly suggest anybody who wants to go down the science rabbit trail, you need to follow Dr. Walter Russell and the cubic waveform theory.
No, repeat that again. What theory was that?
Dr. Robert Russell. Let me put it up on YouTube. I want to show you some of his work.
Yeah, go ahead.
In fact, I subscribe to one channel, and this one lady, she actually, Dave DuPont, he does one good plasma physics, which basically still follows the electric universe. But there's one lady in here. You know what? I'll just Google it. I mean, I'll search it on the YouTube search real quick.
Yeah.
Then we could all see it. Let's say Walter Russell. Secret of Light. This one here. This one here. All this Walter. These diagrams like this. This true waveform of nature. Opposite vortexes. This is the toric coils. In this demonstration, this lady talks about patterns that are patented. Understanding this isn't new agey stuff at all. This group of people have actually patented ideas for water purification, these wave cycles that everything travels in, that everything is cubically connected. It's really a whole nother topic. But basically, lights just keep repeating itself, and we basically live in a holographic universe. And these cathode planes that we're talking, see this cube here?
Yeah.
That cube would basically represent a particle, an atomic particle.
Okay.
These planes are the spinning vortex cathode planes, what they come from, that store up the energy. Have you ever played with one of those toys? I wish I could show you what it would. You know what? Hold on. Maybe I got a diagram here. Let's see if I find. I had a pretty cool. Maybe it was in this one. Here we go. This is a sample graphic of what's happening with the wave fields. Now, it's just one of the planes, basically just two of the six-sided molecules. Now, these molecules, at the collapsing point, it's charged, what we call protons. As it discharges and bounces upon the wave fields of the cubes, they reflect off each other. Now we have two opposites. This is what we call an electron. This is where it has its electric charge, and it's heated at its heated, expanded state. And when it cools and collapses, it forms what we see as matter at this state right here. When you have that single disk, and then when it uses up all its energy, let's just watch the cycle. And the rate of the cycle is the rate of the molecule. And this is echoing throughout the entire universe, and the entire thing's connected. So what we have are interconnected cubes that are bouncing and reflecting off each other and repeating each other. And they're connected, and they match and they mate with each other, not north to south, but because they share the same atomic spin direction. If they were spinning opposite direction at these connected points, like right here, then that would be north and north, or south and south, that we call north and south. There really isn't north and south. It's more the spin direction.
That's fascinating stuff, and I have not done enough research on this to know. I mean, this is way above my head. I'd have to take a look into this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He talks about twister pipes. He talks about all the technology that we have are explosion-based technology. He even talks about the implosion motor, not explosion motor. Now imagine when we turn our car on, we explode stuff to get energy out of it. But there's the other side of the wave cycle. He's got a way to capture energy on while the wave is collapsing and recharging and refreshing and recycling nature rather than just exploding it and wasting it. And so this technology is destroying us. Here's the fish egg motor. Now this is old technology. He talks about a trout when it swims up water. It has its mouth open. And you'd think that would be resistant, but what he's doing is he creates a suction. He's sucking his way through water. And this is kind of a little bit complex, but as he's sucking water, it spirals in a suction, central pedal suction. It spirals along into the fish's mouth and exits out its gills. And the gills will explode out the oxygen and spin in that opposite direction and propel the thing forward, so it's being sucked into the water as it's being pushed into the water. You see? And this is the fish egg motor he actually created.
Wow.
He talks about bees. See how, like, the scientists can't figure out how bumblebees can fly, but because they completely failed the other force of nature, it's sucking its way into the atmosphere as well. But actually, there's a little more to it than just that. There's a whole other theory that this is pretty amazing stuff too. I guess we're getting way off topic, but I think it's beyond fascinating. Did you know that people are levitating water beetles' wings?
No.
Yeah. Well, apparently when a bee, when they flap its wings, you know what? Maybe I can just find it on Google. There's a Russian scientist that figured it out, and it's talking about it's basically anti-gravity. Maybe bug wing levitation or something. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so when a beetle flaps its wings are hollow. This guy, he actually took these bug wings and they actually levitate naturally. How is that even possible? It's because the Earth's magnetics, the Earth's sound waves, the Schumann resonance is vibrating through these wings, these little tunnels, and these dielectric wings. They just vibrate. It creates a sonic wave. The sonic wave sets up a static field, which creates up an electric field, and then it levitates. So he took a bunch of these wings. Now, you can show him levitating these wings. Look at that. Those are bug wings. Levitating. Yes, sir. So he took a bunch of these and made a craft out of it. Look at that. Just by the Schumann resonance, it's like 0-point energy.
Yeah, the more I learn about this, the more I'm learning that everything's about frequencies. Everything is frequencies.
Yeah, there's no iron core in the Earth. The Earth's magnetic field is created by its sound wave. Moving sound creates sound waves. And you can get into fundamental frequencies and scalar waves, and you'll be on the right track. So imagine taking a bunch of these, and he levitates. Look at this. How is that doing that? Because he's got a bunch of these bug wings underneath it.
Really?
Now look at this. What he did, you know those little fans that Chinese people open up and you keep your face cool?
Yeah.
See, I don't know if he shows it in this or not. I wonder if we could move this. Okay. He doesn't show it in this one, but I can kind of verbally tell you what he did. So, in this box, you know those fans that you can get, they look like real thin, and do they fan out? The Chinese women can use them as weapons even. You keep your face cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got 4 of those underneath this thing. And these gears open and close them underneath. So at one corner they're set up and they fan out. So the fan's like closed. If he doesn't lift, they're all closed. To lift off, he opens up the fan blades, exposing the wings. You following me?
Yeah.
So he's got 4 of those fan blades underneath this thing, controlled by these things. And then, just like a quadcopter, have you played with a quadcopter?
No.
Okay, well, a quadcopter, the way it goes forward, is you have lesser speed on for him to go forward, he needs to lower the speed on the front propellers. But what he does is the back ones are opened up more than the front ones. The whole thing leans forward. Now get this, you're going to find this hard to believe, but he reports the speed at 24 miles a second. I thought I calculated, I think it comes out to like twice the speed of sound.
Wow.
Yeah. It puts an envelope of gravity. You don't even feel the wind around this thing. And you can't even see it. It becomes invisible and up to 1,000 feet high. So imagine the whole Earth whipping around with these things.
Yeah, I wish I could have had seen a video of that. That would have been amazing.
But here they are levitating. This guy, you really need to subscribe to this guy. He lights up the internet. This is the reason why we have. You ever heard of a thing called the mystery spot?
I've heard. I'm not familiar really with it.
Okay, maybe I'm going to a little bit off topic, but this guy nails it. He's totally undone science. He talks about sound waves, round rocks, rainstones, and how they moved the pyramids of Egypt. And these caves, these sonar caves, well, he gets into other elements. I don't believe in his most of his religious beliefs, but I mean, he gets into it. He talks about these scalar waves, sound wave vibrations. Here's his torus field again, how it echoes. He talks about this rock that he has, that the sound waves, the central pedal forces coming on one side, which a central pedal is like a reverse side of a tornado, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a suction side where it's the opposite of central pedal. And they meet at the center and collapse, and they expand the energy out through the center, creating what they call scalar waves. So these collapsing waves, at the point where it collapses, sets up this scalar wave here. And scalar waves, so here's these sonar amplification, sound emitting, whatever. This is the tools that they levitated the pyramids of Egypt with. This, in fact, the beetle, remember those beetles?
Yeah.
You saw it on a scanning electron microscope. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. That's why they had these tiny little needle-looking hair tip things on the tips. If you saw it on the tip of the beetle wings, what they actually look like. And he actually touches on this topic. In fact, he talks about the whole pyramids of Egypt being a giant machine, and everything's levitating. Here's an actual picture. See these vortex waves, scalar waves? Look at this wave coming off in the form of pi.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. That's fascinating that they would.
Oh my God, it's worth listening to. Like, yeah, and this is just a big lie. This particle crap. Okay, I mean, I'm so glad I'm kind of irritated the science world. He even talks about pillars that were set up or giant circuit boards. The pillars, like they say they're worship centers. Like, yeah, weren't the pillars a little too close together to be worship places? It didn't even make sense. No, they were giant circuit boards that were resonating frequencies. The whole world is resonating into this day. And if you're not familiar with, look at this. Let me pull up something a little different here. Yeah, we could go on for a while, man. We could talk about some of the rabbit trails I've chased. Let's type that mystery spot. Man, I can't even type right now. There's mystery spot, Santa Cruz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been there several times. This place is for real. It's very bizarre, right? I believe this is one of these vortex centers emitting energy up into our atmosphere. We have trees
I do
growing
remember
up.
seeing something about this now that you're showing this.
I was there several times. It's for real. It does feel like a vortex. And I've been there 5 or 6 times. You walk up this hill and it feels like you're getting steeper and steeper and you're not. Everything's working sideways. They have a redwood tree at the center of the thing is growing. A redwood tree, get this, is growing up like a corkscrew.
Wow.
Right? Or shouldn't a redwood tree just grow straight up?
Well, you would think.
Yeah, even the trees are leaned in. I think there's a huge, ancient, buried ringstones that this guy said that is amplifying the Earth's energy and sending them up, like the pyramids of Egypt do. Send up to a giant electric grid. In fact, NASA knows about it. The strange orbits that satellites go into and they get trapped into these same grids. They call them ley lines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the ley lines. All the ancient sites are built right on these magnetic sonar frequencies. In fact, if you look at the, let me go back to this guy. He said all these things would be perfect sound bells, sound amplification places. Man, it's just amazing where this whole sound thing goes.
And speaking about that, I mean, saying that, being that everything's based on vibrational frequencies, and it seems like the powers in control are constantly trying to batter us to make us lower our vibrational frequencies. What can you leave us with to, you know, kind of give us some advice about how we can help ourselves, you know, with everything that's going to be happening in the future, and anything else you'd like to leave us with?
Well, you know, I don't want to come off as someone who's excited for the apocalypse. I would say draw close to God, because that's where I really get my peace about this whole thing. And yeah, there are trying times coming, and I just want people to know that, not to mistake in my excitement. I'm not excited about the things that are happening, but I think the good things that are coming. And I do believe that God is about to set up his kingdom and just want to be a part of it. And I'm actually not worried. I live in California. So in light of everything that I know, I still live here.
Yeah, I live in Louisiana.
All right.
I'm in the same boat.
If you want me to get some beliefs out there, if you really want to get prepared, the only preparing you could really do is to get right with God. And even the Bible, Jesus even said, you know, I could show you in the Bible, it says, pray daily, you'd be counted worthy to escape all these things that would come upon the earth. So there is an escape. The Bible talks about it. It's a rapture. So I know a lot of people don't want to argue about it, but if you think you could survive things that are happening on this earth, you're crazy. But you know what? Let me show you one more thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that this may shatter some beliefs out there, but you got to look at some of the realities of things. Now we know the Himalayan mountains exist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not made up. It's not CGI. It's a real place. It's a real high place, right? Let me turn the grid on here. Now here is where an ancient asteroid hit, right here. And it created all this. No one wants to argue that. In fact, if you look at all the Great Lakes of the water, they all come downhill in this giant crater, and all the waters go down the Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 110 miles across, something had hit the earth here one long time ago. We can still see a giant divot. Watch this. What happens on the other side of this parallel? The highest place on the planet, the Himalayas, with Mount Everest at the exact peak.
Huh. Now,
So
would that have been formed by impact?
Yeah, well, it certainly implies that this thing was hit with a mighty shock wave. This Google Earth isn't really showing the curvature of the Himalayan mountains. Is a nice ring like this.
Mm-hmm.
A nice ring shock wave with seashells at the very top. And the peak of this thing is right smack on top, right exactly in the opposite of the Earth. Exactly.
That is
Something is going to hit this Earth that hard. You know, don't worry about trying to prepare. Just get right. Good times are coming, man. Learn about what I told you. Watch out for psyops and Project Bluebeam, which is here to deceive us. You know, are you familiar with Project Bluebeam? And what do you think?
I'm familiar with that, and I understand that according to, well, a lot of people believe that we'd have to go through World War III before any of this happens. Is that something you believe as well?
No, I think it's going to be the early part of some of the disasters. If they're going to turn this thing on, I think at the early stages of before Planet X even crosses. It might be somewhere during the initial part. I think we know that it's holographic technology, that stuff they have in space with holographic three-dimensional sound.
You're talking about blue beam.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The ability, now I'm not saying UFOs are real, okay? I'm not denying that. But who's to say that they couldn't project a giant holographic UFO right on top of a planetary shadow and say that's a UFO?
Right. Yeah,
So,
they can do whatever they want. I mean, they basically turned the sky into a projector with the aluminum particulates that they sprayed up there.
yeah. I think, well, I believe that millions of people are going to suddenly disappear, and they have to explain for it. That Christians were a horrible bunch of weirdos that they get beamed out and retuned to a proper frequency. And you're going to hear the story more and more as time goes on, that there's going to be a great frequency tuning, that we're all going to become like gods and become superpowers one day. I mean, we see it with the X-Men. You know, we're all becoming like, you know, the X-Men.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all going to evolve into a higher power. We're all going to have superpowers one day. And we're just waiting for the aliens to come down and give us that power. You know, and they're the ones that are going to save us from all this.
Right.
When they really miss the great saving. I mean, we see the biblical timeline of everything that's coming. It just keeps lining up with Israel. It's lining up with 5778, things that Jesus warned us about. We talked about the solar eclipse that came across America on August 20th first, right? 4 days later, August 25th, we had a Hurricane Harvey, and then we had hurricanes ever since. And then Jesus was asked by his disciples at Destruction Temple, and they said all these other things are going to happen. He goes, when will these things happen? He said there will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and perplexity and the waves roaring. Luke 21:25. Imagine that.
Yeah, you can definitely see a lot of the events occurring right now. I mean, that it would seem that scriptures have spoken about. There's a lot going on. And Jeff, I want to thank you so much for coming on. So thanks again for joining us and taking the time for that. That was very awesome.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Thanks again.
All right. I'll talk to you later.